In this video, we're looking at different types of special angle relationships. And the first type of relationship we want to look at is vertical angles. Vertical angles are pairs of opposite angles that are formed by intersecting lines. They are always congruent. So let's draw a picture of that and think about what it means. Here are some intersecting lines, and if I look at the pairs of opposite angles that are formed, they are going to be congruent to each other, and we call those vertical angles. So these angles that I've highlighted in red here, these are vertical angles and they are congruent. That means if my top angle has a measure of 120 degrees, my bottom angle will also have a measure of 120 degrees. Now the cool thing about intersecting lines is they actually form two pairs of vertical angles. There's another pair on the side over here. Let's say that this angle on the left measures 60 degrees. That means its opposite also measures 60 degrees because those angles that I highlighted green are vertical angles, and vertical angles are always congruent. Another way to show vertical angles is with arc marks. See how I've used two arc marks for each of my vertical angles here to indicate that they are opposite of each other and that they are congruent? Now I might use one arc mark on the other pair of vertical angles that was formed by those intersecting lines. So that's another way that you can indicate that two angles are congruent to each other when you're considering vertical angles. Let's look at another angle relationship. The next relationship we want to look at is straight angles. So straight angles measure 180 degrees. They always look like a straight line. It's really easy to draw a straight angle. Check it out. Boom, there we go. It has 180 degrees and it's really just a straight line. That's all there is to it. You can put two adjacent supplementary angles together to form a straight angle. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say I have an angle like this that's 150 degrees and I have another angle like that, and this one's 30 degrees. Well, you may notice that when I put those two angles together, I get a straight line right across the bottom there. And that is a straight angle. So two adjacent angles that add to 180 degrees can also form a straight angle. So when you think straight angle, think straight line. And remember, a line has 180 degrees. A straight angle will always have 180 degrees. We have two more relationships that we need to look at. First, there's complementary angles. Those are any pair of angles that sum to 90 degrees. Complementary angles can be adjacent, like the example on the left, or complementary angles can be non-adjacent, like the pair at the right. The key thing to remember is, as in both of these examples, the measures of complementary angles always sum to 90 degrees. So 30 plus 60 is 90, and 20 plus 70 is 90. That's what makes complementary angles complementary. The last relationship we're going to look at involves supplementary angles. Supplementary angles sum to 180 degrees. Similar to complementary angles, supplementary angles can be either adjacent or non-adjacent, as shown as in our two examples below. The key thing that makes supplementary angles supplementary is that their measures sum to 180 degrees. So 150 plus 30 is equal to 180. And 100 plus 80 is also equal to 180. And you know what? You may have noticed something cool in my example on the left. Did you notice that my two adjacent supplementary angles formed a straight angle? They sure did. If you put those two together, what you get, when you look at the outside sides, is a straight angle. That's because straight angles also have 180 degrees.